Now, maybe all the fish are in the net and they take them ashore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a gill net though.
No, it's a gill net.
Gill net typically is a gill.
Oh. I think that's part of this net, that tail. God, and I guess they just go ashore. God, no. Now he's going forward. Huh? Arrived back in St. Lucia about 10 days ago. It's January 15th. We finally got away from the dock in 10 days. And now we're in front of the St. Lucian Hotel. We found when we backed down to the slip and tried to motor out, the boat would hardly move. So we hear some noise in the background. I'll bring you back to where it is, but it's our new Hookah, which we've never used. But it's a compressor that we plug into the 110 generator. There it is. Both of us went down for about an hour and a half, taking all the barnacles off the propeller. And now Jim's back there. We got tired and cold and came back in, had lunch. And now Jim's back down, of course, putting a zinc on the prop. And I'll give you a picture of him coming up in just a minute, taking this picture, but he doesn't have much choice, because I'll have to help him in just a minute, but here he is in his hookah, and he's angry, but no, he's not. He just wants me to help, so I'll go help. We're cleaning the bottom. That's the island, Pigeon Island, with a fort on it, and then I'll come around to the entrance of St. Lucia, or Rodney Bay on St. Lucia. And there's the entrance right there. Wes and Shar. Oh, missed them. Here they are. The Harrises. We met them. They just got through with rope in 92. Left Rodney Bay this morning after fueling up. Came down the western side of the island of St. Lucia. This is Soufriere. Jim Eds. We've had $1 million sale. Nice and easy going, doing 6, 7, and 8 knots. Now we're down at Soufriere, and there is Petit Byahout. And we're going to anchor right in the center of the picture now. We'll go up in there, drop a hook and stern to, or pick up a mooring. And there's Grand Byahout. I don't know how this is going to do going into the sun, but beyond there is St. Vincent, where we'll go tomorrow. And we'll keep you posted as we go along. But this is quite an anchorage underneath this Petit Byahout. We'll anchor about in there.
Baby elephant we hope we see.
We saw Bupa last time we were here, right in there. We don't know what it will be like this time, but we'll see. I'll let you know.
Well, we just finished a magnificent sail, $1 million sail from St. Lucia, dead to the north. You can't quite see it from here. And we are now sailing along the side. This was about 40 miles, but we were doing about 8 knots. We're sailing along the side of St. Vincent's now, which is a rugged coastline, dramatic, beautiful, but not at all commercial. Villages are tucked in. I don't know how they get up and down. but it's quite beautiful. Not too many safe anchorages here. A lot of boat boys and the few that are around. We are headed further south around that point, and we'll tuck into a little spot owned by some Australians we've heard a lot about for dinner. And I guess all I can say is if it was like this every day, everybody ought to try this offshore sailing. Just gorgeous. These villages are very dramatic, by the way. That looks like a resort area, and I think this is called Wallaby Bay, but again, not a great anchorage. Now from here, we will, after we leave tomorrow morning, we expect to head down to Bequia, which is about a 30-40 mile sail. It shouldn't be too bad. Some of the passages between islands get a little bit boisterous, winds 25 to 30 knots, but since you're broad reaching, really not too bad.
Out of St. Vincent, in the distance you can see Bequia. We are in a little harbor called Petit Byahout, which a lot of people would not even know about. We were just told by some friends up in St. Lucia we ought to stop here. They had moorings. You could go ashore for sort of a family-style dinner.
Diving tank.
Into there, and you can see the diving tanks. It's one of the best diving spots, I guess, in the windwards. There are diving tanks on the dock, and I guess that's where we'll have dinner. Who knows? They said they weren't sure what they were going to have yet for dinner. And this is the other side of the little bay. The boat's going to get in the way, so I'll turn off and walk to the other side of the boat. On the other side of the boat, just a small bay. They have about 3 moorings or 4 moorings. About 40 foot deep, but now I'm looking sort of northwest, and there's Petit Byahout Point, or Byahout Point, really. Beautiful spot. Yeah, lovely sail, as Jim said, down to St. Vincent from St. Vincent from where were we before? Anyway.
Well, we're looking north now, and we're in the Grenadines, and way in the distance you might be able to see that faint knob. That's Bequia. We sailed from there the day before yesterday, and went on down by Canoan, another beautiful island down here. We are on a little island called Mayreau, and I'll just pan around here. In fact, our boat is in that little cove, but it's tough. I'll try to zoom in. We are on that gorgeous beach there. We had dinner there last night. You can just see the top of our mast. Lovely little community, no electricity, super dinner, and really enjoyed a great crowd of people. Big jump up on the beach with all the visiting boats. And then as I pan around here toward the east, they are the Tobago Cays. See if I can come in on that. That's a lovely spot. We haven't been there this year, but we've been there before. And then move along around to the south. Hope I'm not going too fast. There are about 200 people on this island, and it's quite attractive and somewhat undiscovered. See if I can pick up another spot from a different point of view here. Well, now we are now we've got to get in focus here. We're looking east now, and another lovely spot. That's a Club Med boat. It's not the sea shanty with a few extra masts, and that's the island of Curacao. And then swinging around a little further, that's it's a little hard to distinguish, but it's Union Island. See if I can come into it. It's a gorgeous place, and a little town called Clifton. That's the harbor right there, and I can't hold this still enough, but we'll head there from here. Check out of the Upper Grenadines, spend a day or two, and then go on down toward the lower Grenadines. Weather's been superb. We've finally gotten rid of a lot of that rain that we've been plagued with. And all in all, it's well, we're still in the Grenadines, and right now we're on a beautiful little island called Palm Island, owned by a couple that have been around the world. She's from Australia. They completely built all of the structures on this island, and it is a spectacular sight. And I'll try to keep the automatic on distance so it doesn't keep adjusting. And we're looking over toward Mayreau, which is where we were yesterday. And then you can just see out here the Tobago Caves, if I can come up on those. Very famous spot. Gorgeous, gorgeous reefs all over here. Tricky sailing, no one moves at night here. Hope the colors come through. Gorgeous blues. We're still on the, let's see, it's Palm Island, and we're climbing around. It is just a gorgeous island, as they all are. Beach, no one around. Just magnificent. Got about a 20-knot breeze here, and that's kind of the way it is most of the time. Sometimes blows to 30. Don't see too many boats out here. A lone rock. Lots of reefs. Tobago Cays again. Very popular spot, the Tobago. Don't know whether we can see boats in there. See the reefs there.
Testigos, and the beaches look lovely. We haven't been ashore. We just went to get in the dinghy, and the outboard looks like it probably needs a new impeller. I also see our batteries getting low, but I'll finish this up here. We were going to go ashore to that lovely beach there, climb up to the top of the mountain up there. We'll see whether we can get the outboard going or not. There's a pretty spot where you get behind a little reef and a little island. And Jim's working on the outboard. Testigos, Los Testigos, Venezuela. First stop in Venezuela. Jim's down trying to get a pretty shot of this big piece of driftwood. We're on the windward side. I'm looking east now, back to Grenada. Grenada's way up there. We can't see. About 90 miles. We did an overnight here. We're with a couple of Australians. We're on their way home. Mayreau and Gil. Here's Gil. I don't know if I'll find Mayreau. But this is a pretty beautiful beaches. A little drier than I had expected. We're anchored on the other side of the island in the lee, behind a reef. But the beaches really are lovely. Up from his picture shot. Now here we are, and we just came up this terrible sand dune, which we're going to go down and take pictures of, everybody. Falling down it. It was pretty hot and very difficult. We're all anchored, or the two of us are anchored. Over just beyond that little island, you see two little dots of boats. We're on the right-hand side, and Alona's on the port-hand side.
It's another crowded anchorage.
Yes.
Los Testigos.
Yes.
Mobbed.
Okay.
We're all skiing down a giant dune here, and we're in good form. A hell of a lot easier coming down than it was going up, I can tell you that. Must be 120 degrees. Good job, everybody.
Here's Margarita. Mine well in front of the char. Char. West House.
I mean, I had a little bit, but
Kevin's here, and Tim. There he is.
Now in the Valley of the Virgins, still in Margarita, and this is a lovely chapel in honor of a pearl diver who almost lost his leg from gangrene. His wife came to the church, prayed, and miraculously they saved his leg and probably saved his life. And so they have made a tremendous amount and value in donations in pearls, one of which is in the shape of a leg from this diver who promised, or whose wife promised, that if his life was spared, he would contribute in pearls a vast amount of money to this town and to this church. Quite a beautiful, beautiful spot. Well, we're still on Margarita, and we are now on the easterly side, which just has probably 10 miles of magnificent beaches. This is kind of the Riviera for Venezuela, and the wealthier people come to this particular spot, we're told, from Caracas, etc., and from all over the world. It is just a gorgeous, gorgeous beach. It just goes on and on and on. Can't hold the camera too steady here, but really beautiful. Beautiful surf, hang gliding, all kinds of activities. Lots of great topless activity as well. Quite a spot. They were all beautiful, but none like this. Margarita has a gorgeous coastline. Several of these little fishing villages down there. And really beautiful. Hadn't realized that it was so gorgeous. It's just a little fishing fleet down here, scattered all along the coast. Very friendly Venezuelans. Tough coast. Well, more of the same. Gorgeous harbors, still in Margarita. I'll try to pan around this whole thing. It goes on and on and on. This is almost 360 degrees. Lots of sun right here for a minute. Around here into a fishing harbor. Just gorgeous. I should really try to pick that up later on. More of the same. We could spend a lot of time here. But we've got to go on. Got to do an overnight, about 200 miles, to Tortuga and a few other spots until we get to the ABC. So we've got to get ready to...
55 miles off the Venezuelan coast. There's one other boat right there. So this is probably, at least 5 miles of Horseshoe Beach here. We're looking east. Just over that side there's a big lagoon. A little fishing village that isn't inhabited all year round. There is somebody there now. And then we've been watching all these airplanes, probably 15, 20, 25 airplanes. People come from the mainland, fly over in small airplanes, land on a sort of a sand strip, and sit on the beach. It's absolutely gorgeous. One of the prettiest spots we've been in, and only 2 of us here. That's the little fishing village. They have their boats all over on the other side. I don't think they're here all year round. They're here now. We walked over there, took some pictures. There's one airplane left. I don't think there's anybody left on the beach. They've all been leaving. It's about 4 o'clock. They all been flying. There goes somebody. Hop in the airplane, take home, go on home. Nobody actually lives on the island other than the fishermen part-time. Quite a spot. On behind the scenes, all kinds of stuff hanging out to dry in the air. Shoe, I don't know if you can see the shoe bottoms there airing out. Jim's over in the corner working on the outboard. The 8-horse impeller went, and we traded a case of beer for an impeller. We couldn't get one at the shop, so he's got the whole thing apart and he's trying to work on that. And so it goes day after day.
Well, we are in Curacao right now, and this is the beginning of Carnival. They tell us this carnival is the 2nd largest in the world. I'm not sure who the 1st largest is, but it may be Trinidad. It's a big deal. Starts in about, the parade starts in about 10 minutes. And they've been building and building and building toward this whole thing for months. People have staked out little spots all along this road, and the parade will run for about 10 miles. This building, the beer trucks are running, and they finally closed the bridge ahead. Streets are lined, and I'd say we have 10 minutes to go before the parade begins in this particular area. Everybody, needless to say, is extremely excited. Been up all night. There have been boats celebrating in the harbor, and everything is shut down except shops that sell beer, soda, and hats. The big time will be had by all. This carnival will last, I'm told, about 4 days. And it is Sunday, and this is just the start, although they've been celebrating for the last 2 days unofficially. This is a large pontoon bridge which is driven the other side of that little shack by a large propeller. It separates from this end and it pivots at that end. It's the entrance to this harbor. The parade begins from the other side, and we expect that to happen within about 5 minutes, so I'll have to get out of here. But the bridge is unique in that it's the entrance to one of the finest harbors, in fact I would say the finest harbor in the Caribbean. Royal Dutch Shell put a tremendous amount of money into a refinery here. This bridge was built about 1910. The refinery was one of the largest in the world and was very important during the Second World War, of course. And because it was, the U.S. had quite a base that supported this facility as well. The harbor here is vast, and the refinery is huge. The boat right here is Platypus from New Orleans, and naturally they have a fine ringside seat. See if I can get around here. Platypus has been written up in yachting and cruising and all kinds of magazines. In any event, long story short, they shut down this harbor yesterday, no traffic allowed, to get ready for Carnival. So all of the large ships that had to move for the next week either came in or went out. And there is no way past this bridge, which opens about 50 times a day. Interesting spot, very much like Amsterdam. This harbor and these islands are Dutch, and the natives speak Dutch as well as a dialect made up of about 5 languages. Pretty hefty tugs, lots of maritime traffic in this harbor. It's a biggie. Well, these folks are just about ready. They're dropping off some of the folks that will pick this parade up within the next few minutes. Costumes, balloons, you name it. And they've been reserving spots along this 8 to 10 mile stretch for the past week. I don't know whether this will come through, but the excitement is just amazing. I just saw a light on my video that says the battery's getting low, so golly, I hope we've got this charged enough. That ought to be a lot of fun. A minute now. Boy, I don't know, the police are kind of clearing the way. Those that need a hefty drink, this guy's got the biggest bottle of rum I've ever seen. I don't know where he put it. But in any event, we're getting ready for this thing to start. And I know I'm going to be tossed off this viewing stand any second. And the battery light is flashing again, which is discouraging because I think this will be a lot of fun. Quite started yet, but you can see all kinds of arrangements like this. These guys have been here for some time. Last night, just to make sure they had this spot. Been here not as long, but they're just having a great time.
Taking pictures, but we just left Aruba and we're on our way to Cartagena. About 25 to 30, just a sec. I'll bring around the Dave here.
Hola.
Hey, Dave.
¿Cómo está?
Yeah. You're having a good time?
Would you like to say hello to anybody back home?
Hi, Mom, Dad.
And Scott?
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
There he is.
Oh, no, it's forget.
Yeah, we're here. You don't have
Alright,
to say
so
hi.
forget it. So, a little bouncy, but nice day. Sun's out. Although we're under the protection of the harmful UV rays, this lovely canopy. Show the canopy.
I can see that. Oh, holes in the canopy.
Yeah, that's so you can see the sail. You know, you can monitor your sail trim and.
I have to move. I'm really got to stop. Are number one?
Wait, number one.
Here's Dan's cooking the dinner tonight. He's doing a special thing here. And he's a little bit warm down there.
What's for dinner?
Oh, good stuff. Oh, it's a little surprise.